Now at 11, the Welch's community grieving after a missing persons case turns into a homicide investigation. We hear from those who knew and worked with Susan Lane-Fournier.
We are issuing a weather impact alert tonight and into tomorrow morning throughout the central and southern part of the Willamette Valley because of dense fog. Along with this dense fog, there could be some areas of freezing fog as well. I'll have the forecast coming up.
And later, the results of a new study could change the perception about home births, what researchers found out, and the risks that remain. And thanks for joining us here at 11. I'm John Adams. We start tonight with breaking news in Albany. The union that represents the district's educators reports they've reached a full tentative agreement, which has been signed by both parties. It comes after 3 weeks of striking that shut down schools. Now, the Greater Albany Educators Association shared highlights, including new thresholds for class sizes, as well as dedicated funding for more teachers and overall support. Also, annual pay increases starting at 7% for the 24-25 school year, and daily uninterrupted prep time, among other benefits. Now, this could potentially end the district's first strike in nearly 40 years. The union said their bargaining team is now working on their return to work agreement. The vote is scheduled for Monday. Because of that, classes will be canceled and the picket lines will be down. The soonest students could return would be Tuesday. We plan to follow up on tomorrow's vote and update you on air and on our KGW News app. Well, we kicked off December with the coldest morning so far this fall, with many locations waking up to temperatures in the low 30s earlier this morning. Meteorologist Joe Ranieri is here to let us know how cold things could get over the next couple of mornings. Hey, Joe.
Hey there, Joe. Well, it might be a little bit warmer in a few locations, but if you're going to be spending any time throughout the central and southern part of the Willamette Valley, it is going to be downright cold with temperatures in the upper 20s to low 30s. And this is the area, Salem South and into Wine Country and parts of Yamhill County, that will be under that fog advisory and also the weather impact alert as well. So basically now until late tomorrow morning, dense fog with some pockets of freezing fog, which means there could be some slick roads on your morning commute. So give yourself some extra time. So again, that dense fog is already rolling in. Poor visibility, especially Salem South. I'll show you that in a quick second. But yeah, just give yourself a little bit of extra time tomorrow. Now, this is the Salem Sky Camera. What's behind all this fog? Well, this should be the Capitol building in Salem. It's just low clouds that never really got a chance to burn off. Right now, we're looking at a temperature of 34 degrees in that part of the valley, and visibility is anywhere from about 9 to 10 miles. So in the metro area, that's not bad at all. But you travel south into McMinnville, Yamhill County, and Newburgh, Sherwood area, you're looking down to about a quarter of a mile, half a mile down in Salem. It gets even more dense down in the Eugene area. So if you're going to be traveling at all late tonight and into tomorrow, give yourself extra time as well. So again, that weather impact alert is throughout the central and southern part of the Willamette Valley. That's where a fog advisory is in place right now. Dense fog advisory, I should say. Here in the metro area, no issues with the fog just yet, but there will be an air stagnation advisory that's in place until Thursday. But once we get past the morning hours, here locally, we'll be seeing temperatures flirting with 50 degrees. But again, parts of Salem, you're going to be struggling to get out of the mid to the upper 30s again. So this is where that dense fog advisory is in place. Just south of Portland, stretches all the way into Corvallis and into Eugene, as well as throughout parts of Yamhill County as well. You travel east, Madras, Bend, you're under a freeze fog advisory. So lots of things happening as we head into December. The last couple of weeks of fall, yeah, we're starting to usher in that much colder air. I'll talk more about that in just a few minutes.
All right, Joe, thank you. We'll see you later in the show. Well, in another tragic turn, the Clackamas County Sheriff's Office announced today that Susan Lane-Fournier's dogs, who have been missing, were believed to have been found dead yesterday. The Welch's community still reeling from the sudden death of Susan. Celine Stevens went to her old workplace and spoke with those who knew Susan to hear more about who she was before her life was tragically taken.
The body of Susan Lane-Fournier was found on Friday, and now as of Sunday, police say they believe to have found her 2 dogs dead. Friends, including those that she worked with, say that she was a special person to many, and now they're grieving her shocking death.
It was devastating. It was heartbreaking.
Susan Lane-Fournier, commonly known as Phoenix, worked at Hoodland Bazaar. She was a fixture at the eclectic Welch's store, someone people would just stop by to see, like Kristen Elizabeth, now helping the business after Susan's death.
Instantly, we connected, we hit it off, we had so many things in common. She was so excited, she handed me her phone number and she said, I need a new friend. And we just kind of connected from there.
It was the owner of the store who alerted the police when Susan didn't show up to work on November 22nd. The owner's brother, Khalid, who manages the store, says in the weeks leading up to her disappearance, Susan told him she had some issues in her personal life.
She just notified us, I'm going through some stuff where I have problems. So that's why a couple of weeks she brought in the dog with her all the time in the parking lot for her safety.
Sunday, police announced that 2 dogs believed to be hers had been found dead Saturday. While it's not clear what led to Susan's murder, her husband, Michael Fournier, was arrested the day her body was found for second-degree murder. Susan had filed for divorce a month before, citing irreconcilable differences.
Women suffer, and it's unacceptable.
Word in the community was that she was afraid to serve him because she was afraid something like this would happen.
There is now a journal in the store for anyone to share memories.
I said that, I know we only met once, but you left a lasting impression, and your joyful energy was contagious, and I hope that justice prevails.
Susan also had birds at home. Her friend Vicki Adams contacted authorities to take the birds in.
I've grated them up some fresh fruit, and they're really happy, they're really vocal.
Vicki would stop by the store to see Susan, describing her as wonderful and unique.
She had a thing for heart-to-heart hugs. So when you give a hug, she was always, you did it heart-to-heart, which was wonderful. It was just one of the little things about her that was so pleasant, so warming, so enlightening.
That's very kind of you to take them in like this.
Phoenix brings that out in people. She brings out the good.
In Welch's, Celine Stevens, KGW News.
Developing tonight, detectives in Salem are investigating the death of a Salem man following an apartment fire. Police and firefighters were called to a building complex off of Capitol Street Northeast and Chemeketa Street just before 3 Saturday morning. There they found the body of a 38-year-old man in one of the units. Due to the nature of the death and the cause of the fire, Salem police have started a suspicious death investigation. In Portland, police are investigating the death of a juvenile that may have happened during a street takeover. Officers responded to a report of a crash at North Marine Drive and Ledbetter Road around 10:30 last night. There they found a vehicle involved in a rollover crash and a teenage boy who was pronounced dead at the scene. The driver of that car, who police believe was involved in the street takeover, remained at the scene. PBB asks any witnesses to reach out. This is Portland's 65th traffic-related death this year and the 5th in the past 10 days. In Oregon City, investigators are looking into what caused an explosion in the basement of a historic residential building.
We have a working fire. This is a multifamily. Engine 315 will be passing command, setting up for fire attack. We do have one victim outside.
Clackamas Fire got the call around 7:30 this morning for a building on 7th Street between Madison and Monroe. Crews quickly put out the basement fire, and the one victim was taken to the hospital. All residents have been displaced while the building's structural integrity is inspected. Portland police are asking people in and around the Centennial neighborhood to keep an eye out for this woman. 78-year-old Jacqueline Alexander has dementia and never returned home after leaving sometime after 4 this afternoon from the area of Southeast 162nd Avenue and Main Street. If you see her, call 911. Well, some people are still cleaning up after last month's bomb cyclone that caused widespread damage across parts of Oregon and Washington. It resulted in hundreds of thousands of people losing power, some for several days. Cornelius Hawker takes us to Bellevue and shares the story of one person hoping to move forward.
To many, this probably looks like another storm cleanup, but Robert Keeney will tell you there's more than meets the eye.
There's not a lot of people in Bellevue who've been on the same real estate for 100 years.
Robert says his grandparents bought this land back in 1925. He, quite literally, grew up with some of these trees.
There's a bunch of these trees that you might say are sort of friends of mine in a way. You know, I mean, they've been here all along.
But friends turned to foes during last month's bomb cyclone. The whipping winds brought down at least 32 trees across the family's sprawling property. But Kathleen,
thank you to so many of the neighbors.
another Keeney, Robert's sister-in-law, is counting her family's blessings.
Blessing that, you know, the trees missed the house. They hit everything else, but they missed the house. So we still have a place to be, and that part is wonderful.
Robert, a well-known environmentalist and volunteer, is getting some help. A GoFundMe was created to help him purchase a new truck. A tree brought down by the storm totaled his. The gesture and donations surprised him.
That's not the kind of thing I think of. I mean, it just never even occurred to me.
Robert says him and his family know it's a long road ahead, but they're in it for the long haul.
It has to do with how the family operates.
In Bellevue, Cornelius Hawker, King 5 News.